So, is this seat taken? Wait, no, don't get up, don't leave. I meant the game, come on. What a nice little indie game this is. But what is it? Well, as much as I'm sure you'd absolutely love asking various people if the seat they're next to is actually taken, this game simply puts you in charge of putting butts in seats. Wait, do shapes have butts? So are you just putting shapes in seats? Anyway, there are cute little shapes in each scenario that need to be placed in a specific area, and each has specific requirements in order to be happy. Some may want to sit while others may want to stand. Some are very social while others may think people suck. What's a nice addition is that there is a fun little story that's told here as well. One shape in particular wants to make it big in show business. Me personally, that sounds like an awful dream, but then again, I ain't a rhombus, so the game follows this character along their journey of putting butts in seats. It's nothing groundbreaking, as I'm sure you'd imagine, but it's just a nice little way to push the game along to the next level. At first, the game was incredibly easy. The first area or two are honestly a breeze. Most of my time spent was reading dialogue from the little shapes. Shape Americans? Shape Europeans? Just shapes. Sure, some of the puzzle elements of placing the different shapes slowed me down slightly, but it was still easy peasy. But the game then started adding other mechanics, such as new requirements that the shapes need, different levels that limit spacing, and interconnecting previously finished sections of a level with each other. For instance, when I came across a movie theater level, some shapes had popcorn. Don't ask me how that works. When that section of the level was completed, some shapes would disappear and new ones would need to be placed. However, those who were eating popcorn left a mess behind, and this directly coincided with the new shapes that may require a clean seat. So your placement began to matter across more than just the section you began with. The game never got too difficult, but it definitely made me think a bit in the latter part. The biggest thing that drew me into this game, other than getting a recommendation, was the visual design. It's simple and all the colors are very washed, but it works very well. Lines are thick and solid, animations are clean, and the overall visual style is quite crisp. I have no idea why, but it reminded me of those old educational Macintosh games I used to play when I was in my computer lab at school. Okay, I know I just dated myself like I do in most of my videos, but there's wisdom in age or something like that, I don't know. For the Switch 2 version, I was disappointed to see the lack of mouse controls used. This would have been an excellent option for a game like this since you're picking up and placing shapes constantly, moving things around the screen and grouping them together. But, there are full touch controls here, which is awesome. Sure, sometimes my fat fingies would pick up the wrong shape or place them in the wrong part of the screen, but overall, it was a delight to play this game in handheld mode. In fact, I'd say 90% of my time was in handheld. This game looks and runs fantastic on Switch 2 in both docked and portable mode, and having these touch controls made it even better. Is This Seat Taken has two big flaws for me: the music and the length. Regarding the music, it's just fine. It's just not memorable in the slightest. If it was to serve the purpose of being background elevator music to just fill the space while you play, well then it definitely succeeded in its job. I just wish there had been more variety and some better hooks. This is subjective, so you may be listening to the soundtrack now and thinking, God, this old fogey doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. So yeah. As far as length, I typically don't go much into this because honestly, this is incredibly subjective too. In fact, some short games I've played before didn't feel short at all. They felt like the exact length they needed to be. But in this game, it felt like the difficulty in the shape placement puzzle mechanics was just starting to get really good when it, well, ended. There are extra levels that open up once you complete a full area, and these are typically one-off levels that have no real connection to the story and are much harder than standard levels. However, these never truly tingled my brain. Because of this overall lack of difficulty, the game felt a little short to me. Yes, subjective I know, but think of it this way. I just wanted more to play. Is This Seat Taken is a fun little game that will give you a few hours of enjoyment. Your mileage may vary, but overall it took me about 7.5 hours to fully complete the game, along with just messing around and checking things out in each level. If you're looking for a nice puzzle game with neat aesthetics and a charming little story, this could be a great pick for you. For me, this game is a good recommendation that will tickle your brain just enough and perhaps leave you wanting more.